Warm greetings to my dear students. I welcome you all to SST class. In this video, I'll be discussing Indian Forest Act 1865 and the effect of the Forest Act on the lives of the people with you. So starting with Indian Forest Act 1865. We all know this, that the forests, they were being destroyed rapidly. So the British government, they appointed a German expert and his name was D. Brandes. He was appointed as the first Inspector General of Forests in India. He realized that a proper system was needed for the conservation of forests. Rules had to be framed to prevent felling of trees and a restriction for grazing so that forests could be preserved for timber production. So all these efforts of Brandes, they gave rise to Indian Forest Act 1865. D. Brandes, he set up the Indian Forest Service in 1864 and helped formulate the Indian Forest Act of 1865. The first Forest Research Institute, that is the Imperial Forest Research Institute, was set up at Dehradun in 1906. The institute taught the system of the scientific forestry. In scientific forestry, natural forests, which had lots of different types of trees, were cut down, and in their place, one type of trees was planted in straight rows, and this is known as plantation. For example, cultivation of the poplar trees was done because it was exclusively good for timber. The forest officials, they surveyed the forest and planned how much of the plantation area was to be cut every year and replanted again. The Forest Act of 1865 was amended twice, once in 1878 and then in 1927. No pastoralist was allowed access to forests which produced commercially valuable timber. The Indian Forest Act 1878 divided forests into three categories. And these categories were reserved forests, protective forests, and the village forests. The best forests were called the reserved forests. What was the effect of the Forest Act on the lives of the people? After the implementation of the Forest Act, the forest people and villagers experienced extreme hardships. Provisions of the Act restricted the traditional rights of the local people on forests. Most of the traditional activities of the forest communities, like cutting wood for homes, collection of fuel wood, grazing the cattle, collecting fruits and roots, hunting and fishing, all were made illegal by the Act. After this, the forest guards, they started to take the bribes from local people if they were caught while stealing wood from the forest. Effect of the forest rules on cultivation. The major impact of the forest laws was ban on the shifting cultivation or swidden agriculture. In shifting cultivation, some parts of the forest are cut and burnt in rotation. Seeds are sown in ashes after the first monsoon rain, and then the crops are harvested by October, November. Such plots are cultivated for a couple of years and then left fallow for 12 to 18 years for the forest to grow back. European foresters, they regarded the practice of the shifting cultivation as harmful for the forest because when a forest was burnt, there was danger of spreading the flames and burning valuable timber. Shifting cultivation made it more difficult for the government to calculate the taxes. There was prohibition on the hunting after Forest Act. Before forest laws, many people who lived in or near the forest had survived by hunting the small animals. But this hunting was now prohibited by the new forest law. The forest law deprived the forest dwellers of their customary rights to hunt. Those who were caught hunting were punished, and this illegal hunting was termed as poaching by colonizers. Then another effect of the forest law was new trade, new employment, and new services. Due to the control of the forest department on forests, people suffered in many ways, but some people benefited from the new opportunities that had opened up in the trade. This happened not only in India but in the whole world. For example, due to the growing demand of rubber, people of the Brazilian Amazon, they began to collect latex from wild rubber trees for supplying to the traders. In India, trade in forest product was a regular practice from medieval period onwards. But after the arrival of the Britishers, the trade for the forest products was completely regulated. Then one more effect of the Forest Act was low wages and bad working conditions. New opportunities in the trade of the forest products did not improve the life of the people. Forest communities like Santhals, Oryans and the Gonds of Chhattisgarh, they were recruited to work on the tea plantations in Assam. Their wages were very low and their working conditions were very bad. Also, they could not return even to their home villages easily from where they had been recruited. I hope that this video will be useful to you. Thank you.